1.6 billion, that's a big number. 1.6 billion is the average amount companies spend on advertising for children annually. It's kind of absurd. Unfortunately, these companies don't have the best interest for children in mind. They're looking for high sales, high return on investments, and high money. Bottom line, they'll do it at any cost. They're targeting mostly ages 2 to 17, and these companies are mostly made up of soda, cereal, and fast food producers. Results found from the University of Minnesota since 1994. A study concluded after looking at 5 major networks, out of 564 food ads, which is 56.5% of all advertisements, 43.6% were classified in the fats, oils, and sweet food group. And a good amount of these advertisements ran on Saturday mornings during children's television. As you all know, we are a company whose goals are made to make the public aware of what they are consuming and provide current useful information about their health and well-being. As an intern here, our wonderful Vice President, Mr. Bain, has asked the interns to make a plan to limit these unhealthy yet highly profitable ads, especially ones directed towards children. With that being said, I know my group of interns is competing against others for our recommendations to be adopted. So this here is a chart that shows the number of national telecasts and food and beverage ads viewed by preschoolers, older children, adults in 2009 during programs with various child audiences. You have preschoolers, children, and adults, and it shows all the number of programs viewed and the percentages. And this is all from Nielsen. So we'll take a minute here to look at the statistics. Alrighty. So how many people in here grew up on foods like Frosted Flakes, Mountain Dew, and Pop-Tarts? That's what I thought. I mean, who doesn't, right? Hey, these foods are delicious, and a lot of parents out there want to give their kids what they want and be done with it. That right there is how these companies reel in parents and kids alike. Companies know this, and they pick just the right times of day to advertise to children, so they'll go running to their parents begging for what they want. Saturday mornings, when the whole family is home, is the perfect example of a target time for companies to show kid-friendly commercials of delicious sugary and fatty foods. Of course, to kids, all that matters is the taste. They don't know what kind of substances and nutrition these foods are made of. So parents are a huge part of actually making this change, as well as what is shown on TV for kids everywhere to see. Alrighty. So, it's time to make a change. Since we're not going to sit here and, tell these companies to completely rid of advertising certain brands, we need to ask these companies that are advertising these unhealthy foods to come up with, at least a set of guidelines, which is our job here, to fix the unhealthy advertisements that are happening. If these companies, number one, are going to show these commercials, then there should be a disclaimer. One that is actually significant, not one that is super speedy and you can't hear a word they say, not that type of disclaimer. I'm talking a disclaimer that's going to matter. A disclaimer that says if they are going to consume the product that they are advertising, that they need to have a balanced diet with real fruits, real vegetables, and protein along with whatever else they are consuming. Number 2, the next guideline. These commercials need to absolutely show kids exercising and being active. They need to not be playing video games or watching TV, and definitely not being sedentary. third guideline, there needs to be some way for these companies to strategize times of day to show their commercials. So they need to show it during times when it is not meal times, so that when it comes to having a balanced meal, they can do so. They won't be distracted with these commercials telling them to, eat these foods when they're hungry. So, off meal times is what we suggest is the best option for these companies to start showing their unhealthy advertisements if they're going to do so. So children are not tempted. All right, so in recent months, there have been a couple of perfect examples of how some companies actually are trying to make a change and show healthier foods. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and Dr. Pepper have teamed up to make a joint commercial promoting calorie reduction and smaller portion sizes available for their soft drinks. Never thought we'd see that happen, right? But it is. And another commercial, sponsored by NFL actually, is Play 60. It's a commercial that shows kids, encouraging kids to play at least 60 minutes a day, outside, not inside, in their video games and such. And to me, I believe that that is one of the best ways, especially for kids who like sports. NFL is a big deal, so if that's the sponsor, they're going to be influenced. All right. So, the more guidelines we slowly but surely put into place, the more it forces companies to get creative and think out of the box. To go outside, to push consumers, especially starting at a young age, to get them to go outside. And if they have to have that unhealthy, soft drink or food, then, to have it in smaller doses or smaller portions. Although other nutrition advocacy groups have put other rules and guidelines in place, there's still so much to be done. Essentially, there's a lot that can be done to change the unhealthy way of advertising towards children, but these guidelines are at least a start. I hope you consider our ideas, and we can promise to work hard to implement them if we are chosen. Thank you so much for your time. Are there any questions? Yes, Ms. Mary Brooks.
Do you ever feel influenced by food ads that you see on TV?
Miss Mary Brooks asked if I ever felt influenced by the unhealthy ads that I see on TV. And my answer to that would be that I am sure at points in my life I have definitely been influenced by those advertisements, especially at a young age when you don't know any better. But today I am definitely all for healthy foods and them having more advertisements towards healthy foods so that everyone as a whole is, a healthier nation.